Thank you, Alexander. Good morning. My name is François Durier. I'm working for CETIAT in France. Susanne Geissler made a very interesting presentation about the compliance of energy performance certificates and the compliance of input data, especially for renewable energy systems. My presentation will be on a different topic. It will be about the ongoing revision of the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, the possible changes that it may introduce and changes and additions, as well as the possible impact of this revision on renewable energy systems. This presentation was prepared together with my colleague Michel Mondo, also from CETIAT. You probably are aware that the European Commission published a proposal for the revision of the EPBD. It is part of what is called the Clean Energy Package that was published at the end of last year. You must take care that my presentation will only analyze the proposals from the European Commission and absolutely not the final text. Today, nobody knows what will be in the final content of a revised EPBD because the Council and the European Parliament have to work and agree about it, and nobody knows when a revised EPBD could enter into force. You can refer to have more detail to the documents for which I showed the cover on the right bottom of my slide. You will find it without difficulty on the internet by typing Clean Energy Package EPBD revision, and you will find those documents published on the 30th of November last year. Before going into details about the proposals of the European Commission, let's remind that the EPBD covers not only the energy performance of new and existing buildings, but also the energy performance of technical building systems whenever installed, replaced, or upgraded. And in this presentation, I shall focus on these technical building systems, especially those using renewable energy sources. The technical building systems are defined by the Energy Performance of Building Directive, Article 2. And here is the definition that is included in the proposal of the European Commission for the revision of the EPBD. You see two colors in these words. In fact, the gray words are those that are used in the current definition in the EPBD of 2010. And so you see these words in gray. And the words in red are those proposed by the European Commission to be added to this definition. You see that these new words, these additions, make more clear, for example, the application of the systems, space, domestic. They also refer to intelligent building. You see the words building automation and control. They refer to on-site electricity generation, as for example, photovoltaics or cogeneration. They mention the link between building and electric vehicles. You see the word infrastructure for electromobility. And they also mention the use of renewable energy sources that were not explicitly present in the current definition. This slide shows, according to the EC proposal, what might be unchanged in the revised EPBD compared to the current directive. What might remain are the requirements for member states to adopt a calculation methodology of the energy performance of buildings with minimum energy performance requirements. What might also remain, be unchanged, is the requirement to have all new buildings that are nearly zero energy buildings by the end of 2020, and also the requirement to implement energy performance certificates. one requirement of the current EPBD could disappear in the revised EPBD according to the European Commission proposal. This is the requirement for a feasibility study of the use of high energy efficiency alternative systems for new and renovated buildings. In the EPBD 2010, in Articles 6 and 7, the requirement is to have, for new buildings before construction, a feasibility study that must be operated, and the alternative systems to be considered are decentralized energy supply system based on energy from renewable sources, cogeneration, district heating and cooling, heat pumps. And there is a similar requirements for existing renovated buildings in the EPBD 2010. In the proposal from the European Commission, this is deleted. Something that also might change are the requirements about the inspection of heating and cooling systems. In the directive that is today into force, EPBD 2010, inspection is required for heating systems about 20 kilowatts and for air conditioning systems about 12 kilowatts. In the proposal of the European Commission, the inspection would become mandatory only for heating and air conditioning systems that use more than 250 megawatt-hour in non-residential buildings. We can suppose that it is 250 megawatt-hour per year, even if this is not written in the proposal of the European Commission. And also that inspection is mandatory for heating and air conditioning systems with a rated output of more than 100 kilowatts in residential buildings. And in the EC proposal, there is no more indication on inspection frequency, nor on the way to adapt this frequency according to different parameters of the system. So some important proposed changes for inspection of heating and air conditioning systems. The proposal from the European Commission describes an alternative to inspection for non-residential buildings, and the EC proposes that mandatory inspection can be replaced by a requirement for a building automation and control system that monitors, analyzes, and adjusts energy, that also benchmark the building energy efficiency and informs the responsible persons about improvements, and that also allows communication with other systems. There is also a proposal for an alternative to a mandatory inspection for residential buildings. Inspection can be avoided if there is a requirement that residential buildings are equipped with a continuous monitoring that informs people about energy efficiency and controls of the systems that ensure an optimum generation, distribution, and use of energy. So we have seen that some requirements might remain in the revised EPBD according to the EC proposal. Some others might disappear and some might change. Let's now have a look to what might be new in the revised EPBD. And you see in this slide 3 proposed requirements that are new. The requirement for member states to describe their calculation methodology for the energy performance of buildings under a given format provided by some European standards. There is also the request for member states to include into database of energy performance certificates the actual energy consumption of buildings frequently visited by public, and allow tracking of actual consumption for all buildings. And there is finally a new requirement that member states should express energy performance in kilowatt-hour per square meter per year of primary energy. And concerning this last point, let's go into some more details. The current EPBD requires that the energy performance reflects the heating and cooling needs of primary energy. The proposal for the revision states that the energy performance of the building must reflect its energy use for heating, cooling, domestic hot water, ventilation, and lighting instead of needs, with a value expressed in kilowatt-hour per square meter per year of primary energy, and with primary energy, which is calculated from final energy by using conversion factors that can have a national or a regional basis. You will find in the EC proposal some other new requirements, for example, to link financial measures for energy renovation to the energy savings, to ensure a pre-cabling of parking spaces for recharging points for electric vehicles, and to make mandatory one recharging point for every 10 parking spaces by 2025. There are also two other new requirements that are proposed by the European Commission. The first one deals with technical building systems. The requirement is to ensure that the overall performance of these technical building systems, when installed, replaced, or upgraded, is assessed, documented, and passed on to the building owner. And the idea is that the result of this performance assessment of the technical building systems is available for compliance verification and also provides input data for future EPCs of the building, energy performance certificates of the building. And this is a new and important proposed requirement for renewable energy systems. Another new requirement might deal with a so-called Smartness Indicator, and we shall give details about the Smartness Indicator in the next slide of this presentation. The European Commission proposal includes what is shown on this slide. The Commission is empowered to adopt delegated acts. A delegated act can be, for example, a European regulation or a European Commission regulation. And this delegated act could contain a definition of smartness indicator and the conditions under which this smartness indicator would be provided as additional information to prospective new tenants or buyers. So with this proposal, if it is adopted, the European Commission would receive from the revised directive the right to publish a regulation, a delegated act, defining this smartness indicator and the way to use it. And the EC proposal provides some more details about what should cover this smartness indicator. It should cover, you see some words that are put in red, flexibility features, interconnected and intelligent devices, the ability of occupants and building to react to comfort or operational requirements, the optimum, smooth and safe operation of the various energy system and district infrastructures. So you see that for sure the smartness indicators could cover the renewable energy systems. Today, there is no definition yet of the smartness indicator. We have seen that some words are in the proposal from the European Commission, but this is not really a definition. And there's no indication on the way to assess this smartness indicator. So we shall have to follow the development of this indicator in order to better understand what it will exactly cover when it will be defined and put into a delegated act or regulation by the European Commission. One question is, are heating and cooling systems, especially using renewable, ready for the smartness indicator? Today, some heat pumps are already smart grid ready. There is also a benefit that is given to water heaters with smart control in the eco-design regulation about water heaters. We can also mention the fact that more and more heating and cooling systems, and especially those using renewable energy sources, are more and more products that are connected for maintenance purpose and to inform the user or give him the capacity to manage the system, to control it. So also a big development of home automation. So these smartness indicators will take place in a landscape in which quite a lot of things are today moving. This is my last slide to summarize what I tried to show to you. Among the EC proposal for revised EPBD, there are measures that, if they would be adopted, might have an impact on renewable energy systems. The definition of technical building systems with words added. The feasibility study of the use of high efficiency alternative systems that might disappear. The inspection for which criteria might change. The unit to express the energy performance, kilowatt per square meter per year of primary energy use. The assessment of the overall energy performance of systems when they are installed, replaced, or upgraded. And finally, this smartness indicator. So we shall have to look at the way the discussions and the preparation of this revision will occur to better understand what will be really the impact of these proposed changes. Thank you for your attention.